Am I wrong for still not forgiving my brother for sleeping with my girlfriend? I, 26M, recently went to a family gathering for my dad's 49th birthday. But before I get into that, you need to know the backstory with me and my brother, 23M. This event happened around 3 years ago. Back then, I was dating this girl that I will call Kara, 25F. Kara and I were high school sweethearts. She was my everything at the time and I thought I was hers. It was around Thanksgiving time when I found out. I was shopping for desserts for Thanksgiving after staying at a friend's house since I was helping them move. I came home and couldn't find Kara or her stuff. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. I tried her location, but it looked like she turned it off. I checked my front door cam and I saw my brother helping her move her things into his car and leaving with her. I then tried to call my brother, but he wouldn't answer either. At this point, I started to freak out and assume the worst. But then I thought my brother would never do that to me. He was honestly like my best friend when we were kids, and even though we drifted apart kind of when I went to college, I still considered us best friends since we still talk and go out from time to time. I then called my dad and had my dad tell my mom to call my brother and to put it on speaker mode. My brother answered, and when my mom asked him where Kara was, he said, "She's living with me now. She broke up with OP." I felt numb and those words. I thought this was some type of sick joke, so I checked his Facebook and Instagram and saw them holding each other and kissing, and I broke down. Why was Kara doing this to me was going through my head all night. But then I was angry. How could my own brother, my best friend, do this to me? I drove up to his house and banged on his, yelling at him to open up. But Kara was the one that opened the door. I wish I could say that I held it together, but I turned into a crying mess once I saw her. Then my brother came from his kitchen and told Kara to go upstairs. That's when he told me that they were having an affair ever since my second year of college and apologized to me for it. But then Kara just came back from the stairs and said that the whole reason why she left me the way she did was because she was sick of pretending to love me. I looked at her and realized that that wasn't the person I fell in love with. That was someone else. I then wondered if this was still worth it. I then realized that it wasn't and walked out. I try to not be a problematic person and make a scene when I know what I do won't change the outcome of the situation. Don't get me wrong, I was beyond mad at her and my brother, and so cut them out of my life on the spot. Now back to the family gathering. I live in California now and is still single. The family gathering was all right until my brother and his wife walked in with a stroller. Apparently they got married and got busy. I really don't care anymore. I've been through enough therapy to know that I'm not the problem, she is. My brother was trying to strike up a conversation with me, but I ignored him, went back to the conversation I was having with one of my aunts. After a couple of hours, I forgot they were even there. But when I was heading to the basement to get some more ice cream, my brother followed me and nearly gave me a heart attack. He then awkwardly tried to apologize for what he did to me those 3 years ago, and I walked past him. He didn't approach me again that night, but the next day I had gotten multiple texts from my mom telling me to just forgive my brother already. My mom and dad are heavy on the religious side and had already forgave my brother. But I can't. He's the entire reason why I have trust issues now. He knew how much she meant to me and still did what he did and expected me to just be okay with it. But I don't think I'll forgive him ever in life. Am I the a-hole? Update. First off, before I start with the update, I just want to thank the people who responded to my post. Though some of you were very intent with me getting back at my brother with violence and to cut him off, I know your hearts were in the right place. But I do want to clear some stuff up. I wasn't trying to paint my parents as the bad guy in my last post. They actually forgave him a couple years before they even announced Kara was pregnant. I also believe that nothing would have came from me beating my brother into a pulp besides me probably going to jail and causing rifts in the family. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the update. I sat my mom and dad down with my brother in my parents' living room and finally told all of them how I felt. I told them that what my brother did was unforgivable. Not the type of unforgivable that means I'll hate him for the rest of my life, but the type of unforgivable that means that I want utterly nothing to do with him because I don't want a relationship with someone who could sleep with a friend's girlfriend behind his back, much less his brother. That's not the type of person I want to be around. My brother tried to make a rebuttal by saying that he changed and would never do it again. He said it like he didn't marry and have the child of the girl I told him I wanted to marry. I then asked my parents how they were able to forgive him, and they said that they were really disappointed in him for a while, but when he got saved and started preaching they forgave him since he turned a new leaf. I then asked would they still forgive him if they were in the same position as me, and they said that they would have forgiven him eventually, which I don't believe at all. Anyway, we just went back and forth for a while until my brother said that I shouldn't be holding grudges. I then told him that he shouldn't be sleeping with other people's girlfriends. He then looked at the ground and started to cry. My mom said that what I said is too harsh since he had already repented for his sins. I then gave them the ultimatum most of you told me to do. That they could either accept the fact I want nothing to do with him and move on, or I would cut them off along with him and his family. My dad then said that I would die with regret if I don't forgive my brother. I then asked if that was their final answer, and my mom said fine. She said they will come to terms with me not wanting to be in my brother's life. I then asked my dad if that was how he felt too, and he said yeah. I then thanked them for their time, looked at my brother and told him that no matter what he does, there is nothing that he could get me to spend time with him, and told him to have a good life. I then walked out and drove to get some in and out and went to bed. That whole conversation was really mentally and physically draining, so I basically passed out a couple seconds after hitting my bed. The next day, today, I decided to download some dating apps to try dating again to really move on from this whole situation.